And we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is the April 21st, 2022 WEN-Talk event. I am so excited to be with you here today for 2 hours of awesome, amazing, inspiring, mind-blowing speakers from around the world. And we're going to kick it off with our first speaker, Sibylle Minelt. And with that, I'm going to give you the stage. Welcome, Sibylle. Happy to have you here, and I cannot wait to hear your topic.
Thank you, Hayley. I'm so excited by this opportunity. So I'm Sibylle Minelt, and I'm French-German, born in Paris, France, Europe. I was originally trained as a food technologist and nutritionist, and then I retraining now since 2015 in coaching, supporting people who want to express the best potential, and especially expats and expat spouses. And I will, for them, I concentrate on overcoming challenges, and challenges is the topic I would like to talk to you about. So my story in short, obviously I'm an international traveler. I like to say I'm born in a suitcase, so I really have been traveling all my life. French-German, born in Paris, from a German mother and a French father. So I've been bilingual since I could talk French-German. A little talk about my travels. So my personal traveling for holidays, I was touring Europe a lot, of course, because I live here. I toured Ireland by bicycle. I toured Scandinavia by motorbike. Scandinavia in the north of Europe, so that's Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and Norway. 10,000 kilometers, about 8,500 miles in 3 weeks. That was quite a bit. And then the rest of Europe as well. I went to Asia quite a few times, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Bali, Singapore. I did a safari in Kenya, in Africa, and I went to Tunisia in North Africa. So I've been touring personally quite a bit in the world. And as for my professional travels, it started when I lived 20 years with an international expat from Nestle, the first food world company. We were sent in 1993 from France to England, north of England, Yorkshire, for 4 years. Then Nestle sent us to Budapest in Hungary, Central Europe. And then they sent us back to England, where we were supposed to be moved to Japan. However, one of my big challenges happened. So I will tell you a little bit about my challenges shortly. My first big challenge, I would say, was being raised solo by my mother without a father, never known my father. My second big challenge was a domestic accident, losing my left eye. I can only see from my right eye when I was 12 in 1976. I'm 58, born in 1964. So being an adolescent, with a little disfiguration was not very easy. So my mother sent me to America 2 years later when I was 14 in 1978 to change my mind as an exchange student in a ranch in Washington State. And I fell in love with Washington State. I'm still in touch with my family, my ranchers, since 43 years. I've been back there over 10 times. Then I would say my third big challenge happened when we were back in England in 2004, when I was 40 years old. I had a brain injury, horseback riding in Germany. That made it a bit difficult for the travel insurance, being a French, living in England, having an accident in Germany. So I was 1 month in hospital in Germany until I could be repatriated to York, North England, where we were living at the time. And I was 3 further months in hospital, so 4 months altogether. Brain injury takes a long time to recover. And even now, 18 years later, I can tell you I not completely back to normal. So these were really my big challenges. Now, I would like to come to you with first basic general positive attitude in life, to face what comes your way, to face the challenges you have in life. First, I would say that a positive outlook on life, a constructive mindset is so important to face whatever comes your way, to be able to be solution orientated, rather than looking at what is not good in your life. So a positive outlook and a constructive mindset. Then posture. Posture is so important. Let's do a very simple exercise. Put your head down, shoulders closed, chest closed, and try to think about something empowering and something that you really like, positive. Then straighten up, open up your chest, your shoulders, and try to think about the same positive things. Can you feel a difference? Posture is so important to make you feel good. Then the smile. Smile is so important, to smile yourself and then to encounter smiley people, to really get you going in life. It's so important. Let's have a little look at this. Here you see a smiley face. And here you see a less smiley face. How does it make you feel? I'm sure you feel a difference when you encounter smiley people that make you feel good and feel positive about what comes your way in life. Then being in gratitude, being grateful for everything you have in your life, even the most simple things, having 2 eyes, I have only one. Having enough to eat, having a place to live, having an empowering environment. It's so important to be grateful regularly for what you have. Concentrate on what you have and not on what you don't have. And I can tell you, I'm sure that this attitude I have in life probably attracted a big present I received a few months ago. I was offered a car. Yes, I was offered a car by a friend of a friend who gives her old cars when she buys new cars. So it was an all new car, but still able to drive 100,000 of miles and a few more years to it. So I was offered a car. Grateful attitude in life. Then having a life purpose in life, knowing what you want to do in life, knowing what's important for you, knowing where you want to go. That's so important as well. Like it can help to build a vision board. If you don't know what a vision board is, look it up in internet. A vision board where you can visualize what's important for you in all aspects, financial, spiritual, social, family-wise, a vision board. And then knowing your core values. It's so important to know your core values which are important for you, which are making you feel good, when you live by them. For example, my 4 main core values are wild nature, adventure. I've always been an adventurer, pushing myself and supporting others. And I can tell you, I was not nourishing my two of my core values, which were wild nature and adventure. And I was very sick. 3 weeks, I was sick just before this talk, as never before. And I can tell you, I almost canceled this talk because I was so bad. But I came back up and I wanted to assume the engagement I took with you and with Hayley. So I'm here now. Then concentrate on what is in your power rather than on what is not in your power. That's so important to give you a want to move forward in life. You cannot do anything about what is not in your power. So concentrate on what is in your power. I give you an example from my life now. I live noise pollution since a year and a half because I live in sandwich between 2 construction areas. It's horrendous. And I cannot do anything about the construction. But what I can do is, what can I do about the situation? And because I work from home, so it's difficult for me, especially in the summer. So I decided, for example, to find a place to work when it's bad weather. I go to the public library. And when it's good weather, I go out in wild nature and I live adventure with my phone and my computer. So with my core values, I need autonomy of battery for my phone, which I have found, and for my computer, which I'm still looking. And I need internet, and I know how to switch internet from my phone to my computer. So see, I have been concentrating, finding solution for things which are in my power and not concentrating on what is not in my power. That was an example. Then when you have a decision to take facing challenges, you usually have 3 options. You accept it, and then you have to assume your choice, and I was not going to accept the noise pollution. You can improve it, and this is what I was telling you about, or you can leave it. And leaving noise pollution for me would have meant moving, and I'm not ready to move for the moment. Then check your energy level. Energy level is so important when you're facing challenges in your life, when you have big decisions to make, big meetings. So check your energy level when you are facing them. And if you feel low in your energy level, there are different means to boost your energy level, you know. I can give you a few, but you can find more. For example, one way to boost your energy level is to prepare anchors through NLP, neuro-linguistic programmation. Building an anchor means that you do a visualization which makes you feel powerful. For example, one for me is to visualize galloping horses in the wild nature. And just visualizing this gives me power, gives me oomph, gives me want to move forward. You can feel it in my voice how much it empowers me. A second way to build your energy level up is to link it to your core values, for example. I give you an example from me. We suppose all to do exercise every day, which is good for us, health, physical and mental health. Well, I don't feel like it every day. So to help me do it, I link it to going hiking or running in the nature. And that's linked to one of my core values, my main core values. Now I would like to present you some more specific exercises to help you face challenges. Concerning questions, I would like to give you 3 empowering approaches to questions. Ask yourself empowering questions. For example, not why am I in this situation again? Why am I in conflict with my husband again? Why am I feeling bad about this and that? Why? That makes you concentrate on the problem, closing up. Rather than ask empowering question with how can I improve that situation so that next time it doesn't happen the same way? Or how can I improve my communication with my husband so we're not in conflict again? How? That makes you concentrate on what is empowering, on the solutions, and really that helps you keep you moving forward. A second approach to question is asking open-ended questions, not requiring a yes or no, but requiring a developed answer. For example, I could ask somebody, my husband, my friend, come and do the shopping with me for dinner. Yes, no. Or I could ask, how do you feel about coming to shop with me tonight for the dinner? So the person will stay receptive, will develop the answer, and will keep communicating with you. A third approach to question is magic answers. Magic answers to question which keep the dialogue moving. I will give you an example. There are more, of course. For example, if your child is asking for a lollipop at the cashier or wants to watch computer longer, TV longer, play computer longer, you could say no. And that closes the debate, that closes the door harshly, abruptly. And then you vis-a-vis, child or adult, will close up, will have a grudge against you, will feel frustrated, and everything is blocked. Instead, you could answer, one of the magic answers is, yes, you can have a lollipop, my child. Yes, you can watch TV longer. You can play computer longer. When you have tidied your bedroom, when you have done your homework, when you have taken the garbage out, or when you have helped me prepare the dinner. So that keeps the conversation going. That keeps the person receptive to having a further discussion. A magic answer. That's one of them. You can find others. So these were 3 empowering approaches to questions. Open-ended questions and empowering questions with how instead of why, and then magic answers to certain questions. Then look at the positive side of any challenge coming your way. Yes, even the worst challenges have positive side to them. Look for them. Be solution-oriented, which will keep you moving forward instead of blocking you. Then you can list advantages and disadvantages to different options you have facing a challenge. And then eventually one option will come up with more advantages and another with more disadvantages, and that helps you take a decision easier. Look for success you had in a past facing a challenge. Try to remember, I'm sure you have overcome other challenges in your past. Try to remember how you did it and find the keys and use them again. Try. Then look up at your mentor. Most of us have a mentor, coach, or somebody we are looking up to. And then when you're facing a challenge or different options, put yourself in the shoes of the person you are looking up to and ask yourself, what would that person do in my case? Then I had a very short interesting training with Denise Lynn about clarity. Declutter your home, declutter your mind. Yes, when I feel confused about something, sometimes I go and just put in order a cupboard, and that helps me put in order my mind. Try it. Then there are the daily routines. Having a morning routine helps to prepare your day. Before getting up, think about what's important for me in the day. What is the main action I need to take? What are the people I need to meet? What brings me forward towards my life objectives? So prepare your morning before getting up, a morning routine. For example, I set alarms in my phone in the morning. I make myself ask, what is important for me today? And then at midday, I have another alarm asking myself, is what I'm doing now bringing me towards my life objective, moving me forward? So this is one way for the routines. And then you have the evening routine. Be in a constant learning mode. Be a student all your life for life. By asking yourself in the evening, okay, what happened today? What did I learn from it? How can I improve in that situation? How can I improve in my communication? How can I improve in moving forward toward my life objective? So these are routines you can put in place. Then I would like to leave you with final quotes, empowering quotes. We often underestimate what we can do small now. Take small steps, little by little. Imagine when you have a very big objective, like a staircase, you're looking up and it's so overwhelming. It looks so difficult to reach. So instead of looking up at the finish line, look at the beginning and install rather than your finished objective, install small steps towards your objective. It's like the Kaizen Japanese method of small steps by steps. Install milestones or stages to move forward, and little by little it will move you towards your end objective. Then another quote: a farmer plants a seed and then waits for it to develop roots and nourishment in the roots and the stem so that it comes out of the ground. Meaning that when you are starting something new, don't expect results right away. You know that it's going to take some time to build up, to build up the roots, to build up the stem, the different steps towards the end of coming out of the ground. So be patient. Then I would like to leave you with a final quote, a powerful quote from my coach. I don't know what is possible or what is not possible. So I take action as if everything was possible. Thank you. So when you want to move further and if you want to exchange more with me, I'll be very happy to meet you either on my site, awakenyourpotential.com, awakenyourpotential.com, or you can reach me on my mail, sibmenelt@ymail.com, or Sibyl Menelt. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook, and I'm happy to be of service to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you for this inspiring talk. As a mom of a kid who sustained a traumatic brain injury from a fall from a horse a few years ago, I know just how much of a challenge that road back can be, and it's never the same. So thank you. Thank you for your
Hayley.
stories and your inspiration. I really appreciate it. And it's funny how attitude really is every single thing. I love it. Thank you so much. And we will bid you a farewell or a thank you, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
So people will find my details if they want to contact me?
They will, yes, they will contact you, and we will go back and add your details to the chat as well.
Thank you very much, Hayley.
Thank you, Sue.
And thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So let me see if I can work technology here. So thank you, everybody. I am Hayley Gray. I am the founder of the Women's Entrepreneur Network. And this week, we are celebrating 7 crazy, amazing years of the Women's Entrepreneur Network. And that is part of this talk. This talk is part of the growth and offshoot from that. And I am so excited to be with you guys here today. I am about ready to introduce our next speaker, who is joining us from the beautiful state of Texas. And I am delighted to welcome you to the stage, Andy Monet. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. How's your day been going?
It's going beautifully. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, it's
even more beautiful now that you're here.
Yay! I love it.
I love doing this. It's so exciting. So everybody type in the chat and tell us where you are joining us from. I am curious because some of our speakers are from all over the place, and I would love to share our audience with y'all too. So welcome, Andy. Everybody, please give her a huge round of applause. Welcome her to the stage. And with that, I am going to give you the stage and minimize myself away by the wonders of technology.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to hopefully provide some empowerment, some motivation, some, the little bit about me is that I really feel like as we embrace our strengths and we come to the table, that's one of the ways that we love on people and support people on their journeys and to make a difference in people's lives, right? And for me, that started really early. I was 16 years old when I started my first business because I was homeless when my single mother abandoned me. So my entrepreneurial journey was challenging, I think, more so than the average person. And so part of why I love doing what I do is not because I'm good at it, but because I want to make a difference in people's lives, because it's not an easy journey to be a business owner and an entrepreneur. And so what I briefly wanted to talk with you guys about today is 3 things that I think can really make a difference in your life. Yes, it will make a difference in your business, but yes, it will also make a difference in your personal life. And if you don't have a business, it also helps in your career as well. And one of those things is communication. And I really don't like that word because it's just it's not powerful enough. It's not impactful enough, like communication. Yeah, okay, that's a really exciting topic. But what I find is that people tend to have one of 4 types of what I call communication types, in the sense of there's strategic, or not strategic, that's what I do. There's technical communication, there's structured communication, there's action communication, and there's relationship communication. So for example, I'm super relationship. I want to be touchy and lovey and feely and supportive and empowered, and I want to give that in return, right? But if the person that I'm talking to, whether it's business or career or spouse or child, if they're technical, they're like, I don't care, I'm not interested. And then your feelings get hurt sometimes, right? And so, but in business, if you can't communicate to your potential client or existing client in a way where they really feel heard, understood, you're adding value to their life, you're solving a solution, you're really trying to make their life easier. If you can't communicate in a way that they naturally listen, then that communication they just won't hear you. They don't understand you, all those things, right? And so I need to be able to find out what kind of person I'm talking to. So yes, I'm relationship, but if I'm talking to a technical person, they want data. They want to know what year something happened. When did it begin? Why did it begin? What are the specs? You know, what are the results? What are like all the numbers, all of the information, right? And because data is what makes them feel like they're able to understand something. Whereas structured people are more about checklist, being organized, being structured. What's the next step? What can I expect to see, you know, tomorrow or next week? Or there has to be some kind of a timeline or organization, right? And again, if I'm relationship and I'm talking to somebody who is structured and I'm not providing that value to them, where yes, I can help. So what I do, by the way, because I didn't even talk about it, is strategically what my business does is creating, you know, doubling or tripling your profits or revenue within 3 to 4 months without adding cost or time to your day. That's what I do strategically. That's what my business does. That's what I'm good at. But because I'm relationship, if I don't actually share some information about that, either from a data standpoint or from an organizational standpoint, or the next one is an action relationship, an action communication is, okay, the action people are like, look, I don't care about any of the details. I don't care how organized you are. I don't need a checklist. I just need to know, what do I need to do now? You know, what, when I get off this phone, what can I expect? Like, do you need me to get on a second call? Do you need me to send you the information? And so it's like, sort of like, I call it jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire. So if you're not able to, again, communicate with them in that way, they're not going to hear you. They're not going to understand you. They're not going to want to do business with you. They're going to feel like that you can't add value to their business. And so that piece is so crucial and so critical, actually, that you could be missing 75% of yeses because you're only speaking one of the 4 languages. So that piece is the communication piece. The second piece, and the second and third piece are more operational. And one of that is, and this happens more when people are growing to their next level and they're starting to get really maxed out on time in the day, is streamlining processes. Because one of the things that's really easy to miss is everyone wants to grow revenue, right? But increasing revenue does not always translate to increasing profits. Increasing profits has to do with both increasing revenue potentially and or decreasing cost. And a lot of people forget that there's this cost piece that not only has to do with the actual cost coming out of your bank account, but streamlining processes. Because let's say, for example, I had one client where he wanted me to fix an Excel worksheet, which I was curious why he called me for that. But I was like, okay, well, tell me about it. What do you do with your Excel worksheet? And he says, well, I use it to bill my clients. I said, okay, what's the problem? Well, what happens is he has people in the field that put their hours in their phone app for their time. The corporate downloads this data into one Excel worksheet, and they use that Excel worksheet to populate 17 other worksheets in various ways. And then they bill the clients from those 17 worksheets. And I said, well, how long does that take you? 3 weeks, 3 weeks to 3.5 weeks. And I said, okay, first of all, I'm not going to fix your Excel worksheet, but I am going to fix your process. So we moved him from a 3 to 3.5 week billing process to literally 24 hours. So that saved him 3 weeks of time. So his profits and his revenues almost tripled within 2 months, because now he had the time to do business development, to say yes, to send out proposals, to get on the schedule, and to have more business, right? All because we just streamlined his operations. So streamlining operations increases productivity. And I don't mean productivity in, hey, you have 8 hours of work, and now we want you to get it done in 5 hours, which that in a negative way, but we're moving 8 hours of work into 5 hours of work because we give you tools to be able to do that, or I give you tools, or I change the process, or I change the system, right? So streamlining processes is one of the second pieces of how you increase profits. The third piece is maximizing your IT infrastructure. And that is not also as easily noticeable because you only know what you know, right? So as an example, with QuickBooks is so easy to use, but it's so robust and so powerful, but it's easy to miss some of the management tools and functions in QuickBooks. So if you're only using it for check register, only using it for a profit and loss that you don't always even pay attention to aside from the bottom number, and you're only using it for tax preparation, that's 3 pieces of about 100. So how do we use QuickBooks, for example, in this example, so that it saves you time, saves you energy, you know what reports to use, you know why you're using them, you take a trend information, right? You see, there's things I can tell you about your financial statements that not most people don't even recognize. For example, I can look at a financial statement out of QuickBooks and say, you're great today, you're going to have a cash flow issue in about 6 weeks or 4.5 months, or your liquidity is doing one thing, and your cash flow is negative, but your profit, but it shows that you have a profit. Another like disconnect logically, but once you know why and how to look at that, you can make better business decisions. And so in the process of creating explosive profits in your business, yes, there's a communication piece, right? Being able to communicate with potential clients and existing clients in a way where they understand your value is one really key piece. You can triple your revenue just with that alone. The second thing is streamlining your processes. I got to look at my time, make sure I'm not going over. Streamlining your processes because you want to be faster, not faster in working, faster in getting more stuff done using tools, right? And the third thing is being able to really have that business development piece, right? And so there's lots and lots and lots of strategies that I teach that at the end of the day, like I said, let's build up companies where they don't have to add any costs to their day, not add hours to the day, and really, this is my end all be all, not related to my topic specifically, but you should not work 60 to 80 to 90 hours. I think a lot of us really believe that the harder we work and I don't want to say more miserable, but the more challenging it is, the more successful our businesses will be, which I totally disagree with that logic. We want to be successful with our business so that it complements our life, not takes it away. And so while I deal with that strategy of getting the financial freedom there, it's for the bigger picture, right? How we come to our communities, not only from a financial standpoint, but we're emotionally more healthy that way. We're physically more healthy oftentimes that way. We're able to give back to our communities because we're financially comfortable or financially secure. We're able to be more confident. We'll be able to really move from being a small business owner to a corporate executive in our business, where we're being empowered people, not only for ourselves, but for our families and our communities. And so having a successful business is, again, that's what I do, but how it affects people's lives is why I do it, and how important it is, I think, that as we come to the stage and be the best that we can be, not only in our lives, but how we can be the best that we can be for other people's lives, sharing the strengths that we have for other people. So one of the downloads, which I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say this, I think I am. And if not, she can yell at me later, ask for forgiveness. I do have a free download, which is called Explosive Profits Planner. And it's not creating explosive profits in your business yet. It's like the precursor to that. So it's sort of the vision and the mindset and preparing yourself. There's like things that I call reflection questions and action steps, and then challenge tips. And so it's really geared to, hey, these are the things to think about. These are the things to consider. So maybe there's some things you don't need to consider, right? To be able to have an action step into preparing your business for its next really successful business growth. Because I will tell you, you do not need money to grow your business. Money is an accelerator. It helps, obviously, but it's not necessary. And that's where I think some of the myths come into owning a business, because you can create, as my cat zooming me here, You can create amazing growth, amazing revenue, amazing profits, but you don't know what you don't know yet, right? And so that's what this planner kind of prepares you for, that journey, because it can be done and in a very short period of time. I usually, if I'm doing it myself as a consultant, I can create impactful, noticeable, powerful profit differences in as little as a month. And if in my courses, you could do it on your own, and it might take a little bit longer. So it depends where you are on that journey, right? But anyway, I'm all about supporting each other and empowering people. And if you have any questions, the download is explosiveprofitsplanner.com. That's really long. I know, I apologize, but I should probably just type it into the chat if I can type fast enough. Explosiveprofitsplanner.com. It's free, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, but also on my website, there's always downloads for free, because my personal vision of being supportive and sharing and a servant leader, I think that being able to give resources is really an important task. So if you have questions about it, if you have questions in general, if you're like, hey, I don't have, time, energy, money, I'm stressed, I'm not confident, I would like to know what to do next without paying a bunch of money, and you just want a few first steps on directions to go, get the planner and book a call. I am super open about providing really movement for people who are stuck, or maybe just want some brainstorming ideas, or wants a second approval or a second opinion. So that's all I have for you today, but I am super excited for being able to help you on your journey.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing how, I think with small businesses in particular, you spend the first little bit trying to get clients and beating yourself up, getting to that client stage. And then 90% of the battle is all of this operation stuff.
Yes. So true. So true. And you get stuck in that rut because you didn't know that it existed, which is half the battle, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think we don't talk about, the numbers and the operational pieces enough. And I've had somebody go, well, what do you mean you've been working on operations in your business for the last 3 years? Shouldn't you be done by now? And I'm like,
well, and not only that, but what a lot of people, even Fortune 500 companies, by the way, I have those as clients too, is it's very static in their mind. But as your company changes, grows, retracts, the operations have to do that with it. So for example, the systems that I put in place at Monster Beverage, $4 billion company, are not going to be the same operations as mom and pop, food distributor. They're just not. And you don't want them to be. It doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of time, energy, and money.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, I agree 1000%. And louder for those in the back, please. Thank you so much for joining me today, Andy. I really appreciate you doing this and being here. Absolutely. And sharing resources. And with that, I'm going to play the modern game of technology and change speakers and welcome our next speaker to the stage. Welcome, Soren. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Happy to introduce you, and it is delightful to see you. I've seen you waiting in the wings. I cannot wait to hear your talk. And with that, I am going to give you the stage. So welcome, Soren.
Thank you very much for having me here. Have you ever felt that you're taking life too seriously? Well, is it time to take laughter seriously? 17 years ago, I had a lot of things happen in a 3-week period. I had my apartment building burned down, I lost my job, and surprise, we're having a baby. All this happened in a 3-week period, and I was taking life way too seriously. And I was helping a friend move a couch, and here I am lifting up this couch, and all of a sudden I felt faint, my heart racing. Boom, 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 boom. I had to put the couch down. And I went to the local medical clinic, and they checked my vitals, and I was at a whopping 220 beats per minute. Now, for some of you that don't know, that is 4 times my normal resting heart rate, or normal resting heart rate of an athlete. At the time, I was working out a lot. I was like pumping iron, like, yeah, come on, you can do it. Yeah, come on. And I was almost like pumping up iron like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So why did this happen? I have no idea why this was happening. The doctor actually fast-tracked me to St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver, British Columbia. And then they shaved my chest and monitored my chest for the next hour, my heart, and they found it wasn't slowing down. Then the next thing I know, I go right to the operating room. They put me on general anesthetic and clear, and they shocked my heart with paddles. How can we one day feel so invincible and then the next day feel so vulnerable? Well, I wanted answers. I went to my doctor a couple days later, and he gave me a Holter monitor to monitor my heart for the next couple days. And it wasn't slowing down. And he told me, Soren, you have atrial fibrillation. It's like, well, what's that? It's a misfiring of the electrical signals between the 2 atriums. Well, what do I do about it? Well, we don't know the cause or cure for it, Soren, but we can prescribe you these medications to help it alleviate the symptoms. I was 31 years old. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life taking pharmaceuticals. So I decided at that moment to be a guinea pig of sorts. I started to learn about acupressure, qigong, massage therapy, various different techniques. And it was making a little bit of a difference, but it wasn't until 11 years ago when I was walking in a local cafe towards the bathroom. And you might have seen those bulletin boards, and it had a little poster on it that said laughter yoga. And I was like, laughter yoga. Well, I've never heard of this before. And I went to that session because it was 15 minutes away from that time, and I had 10 minutes to get there. And afterwards, I felt a weight had lifted off of my chest. I felt lighter. I felt more energized. I was like, is there something to this laughter yoga thing? And I began to research it and find out all about the ins and outs of laughter yoga. And I wanted to introduce you today to the healing benefits of laughter. And I invite you to try to bring this into your everyday life. Laughter yoga started back in 1995 by a medical doctor named Dr. Madan Kataria. And he was in a hospital in Mumbai, India, and a lot of the hospital workers were drained of energy. They were working 12 to 15-hour shifts sometimes because it's one of the busiest hospitals in the world. He started with 5 people in a park in Mumbai, India, just laughing together in this park. And it's grown to over 25,000 countries, or 25,000 clubs in over 100 countries. And what we do is we get into a group, and through movement and eye contact, simulated or playful laughter becomes real laughter. But, and this is one of the great secrets of the universe, it doesn't matter. The body physiologically cannot tell the difference between simulated or playful laughter and real laughter. Once you start to get those endorphins going through your diaphragm, those flood throughout your body, oxytocin, all these feel-good hormones, and cortisol and other stress hormones cannot coexist at the same time. So we're fighting against stress-related illnesses using laughter. And sometimes some of you might get into a state of fight and flight where you're like, in a state of fear, and instant access to the parasympathetic nervous system using laughter. So for the next 5-10 minutes, I invite you to join along with me with a little laughter yoga session here because it is extremely powerful. Now, the first part of laughter yoga is the clapping. So I invite you to clap along with me, and we clap fingertip to fingertip and palm to palm. And this helps to activate the acupressure points. and floods even more endorphins throughout the body. And then we add some sound to it. So it goes ho, ho, ha, 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 ho, ho, ha, ha. Excellent. Thank you for playing along. The second part of laughter yoga is the breathing, which is very important. And that's why it's called laughter yoga, because we actually breathe through the diaphragm and we do what's called balloon belly breath to get that full exchange of oxygen. So I invite you to join along with me, and I'll stand sideways here so you can see. When we breathe in, we expand the belly and push it out. When we breathe out, we bring in the belly and tuck it under the ribs. Okay, so breathing in, everyone. And then out, tuck the belly in. And breathing in, push the belly out. And breathing out. And tuck the belly in. And one more time, breathing in. And hold, 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 and laugh it out. Now, a little bit about the success of laughter yoga for me. I was having these atrial fibrillation episodes every 3 to 4 weeks. Since I've been doing laughter yoga on a regular basis, it has gone down to once every year to a year and a half. So it's made a huge impact on my heart health. And the third part of laughter yoga is the childlike playfulness. And you might have noticed with when you move from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, you start to lose your sense of playfulness. And how we do that in laughter yoga is we go, very good, yay! Everyone, very good, yay! Very good, yay! And then the fourth part of laughter yoga is the laughter yoga exercises. I just wanted to share with you today one exercise that has made a huge impact in my life and many of the other people's lives that have been to my laughter yoga sessions and other people's laughter yoga sessions. And it's called the "Oh no, I made a mistake" laughter. And just before this, Hayley was talking about beating yourself up and things like that. Does anybody ever make a mistake ever in their life? I'm sure a lot of you are putting up your hands right now. I can't see everyone in the group, but I'm sure a lot of you are putting up your hands. And Albert Einstein wrote, "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." Now, this is the Women's Entrepreneurial Network. And so I wanted to bring this into a context of how this can help in business. I'm not only a public speaker, author, course creator, but I'm also a videographer. And 7 years ago, I was working on a big video project, and I only had 24 hours till it needed to be completed and handed in to my customer. And I was working frantically on this project, really kind of stressed about it and working on it. And then all of a sudden, with a slip of a finger, this may have happened to you as well, I deleted the whole thing. I was ready to take my computer and throw it right out the window. But just then, my daughter knocked on the door. She had just come home from preschool. She was 4 years old. And she opens the door and she goes, "Hi, Tata. Hi." I said, "Not now, Mimi. Can't you see I'm busy?" And I screamed at her. I raised my voice to my 4-year-old daughter. She went out of the room dejected. And I came out to console her. And she said to me, "Tata, you're a laughter yoga leader. You need to laugh when you make a mistake." And she goes, "Oh no, you made a mistake." Like that. And then I started to do that. I just kept going, "Oh no, I made a mistake." "Oh no, I made a mistake." Everyone, "Oh no, I made a mistake." "Oh no, I made a mistake." And I did that, and combined with laughter, I just kept laughing and laughing for about 5 to 10 minutes. And something incredible happened. After I did that, I wasn't beating myself up anymore. I just regrouped and worked on that project, and I did a way better job on it. So I went from doing the project for 20 hours and throwing it all away to doing it in 6.5 hours and finishing that project within the deadline. So I invite you, whenever you make a mistake, look at the mistake and just go, oh no, I made a mistake. And you can laugh about it. And then, of course, you need to learn from your mistakes. But this is a very, very powerful exercise. The 3 things that I've noticed that have been the biggest impact for my heart health, and I know that a lot of people do not think about their heart health until something happens to their heart, and they don't look at preventative measures. Well, I look at laughter yoga as a great preventative for heart conditions, for debilitating heart conditions, because that is the leading cause of death amongst men and the second leading cause of death amongst women, according to the World Health Organization, is the any heart disease of any sort. So that's how important this is. I wanted to share with you another exercise in laughter yoga that we do. And this exercise you can take into everyday life. And I know you're going to feel that this is extremely, extremely silly, especially when you're hearing this right now. And Robert Holden, who wrote Laughter is the Best Medicine, he wrote, being silly is not silly. Being silly is the first step at being free. So I invite you to bring out your silliness. And that's what we just did with this, oh no, I made a mistake. It's almost counterintuitive. But this next exercise is very, very powerful as well. Has anyone ever gotten to a state where almost they're in road rage, where they just want to like honk their horn and get out of the car and freak out? Well, this is a road rage eradicator. It's a fantastic, fantastic way to get over road rage. And since then, I haven't been upset at all when I'm driving. So I invite you to all join along with me and get into your car. So here we are, we're getting into our car, we're starting our engine. Boom, 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 boom. And when I say green light, we are going to move around the room. And when I say red light, we're going to stop and just look up, get a little bit upset about that it's a red light, and then we're going to laugh, okay? So here we go, green light. Red light, oh. Green light, red light, oh. Green light, red light, oh. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Now that exercise, I want to share with you a little story about how this not only impacted me at a red light, but also the people beside me. I was driving my car in downtown Victoria. I live in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And when I got to this red light, I had my windows open. It was a summer day. And I stopped at the red light and I looked up at the red light and I just went. Now, just as I was laughing, I heard this big argument coming from a vehicle. It was one of the semi trucks that was coming beside me. And there were 3 people packed in the front. They all had their work vests on and they were arguing and it was very, very loud. And I just kept laughing. And they stopped their argument and they looked over and they were like this, kind of quivering their lips. And then they just broke out in laughter and they were like, ha, 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 ha. And I was looking over at them. We were laughing together and having a good laugh-a-thon there. And what was incredible that happened is their argument just completely dissipated. And I drove beside them and I laughed right until the next light as well. And who knows who you can impact. And so that's another thing too. Laughter is a great way for connection. And I just wanted to segue into that. And Victor Borge is a famous comedian, one of my mentors, actually. He traveled all the way around Europe during the Second World War to spread laughter and humor to a lot of the soldiers. And he wrote this: laughter is the shortest distance between two people. And you may notice that when you have a really good friend and you get together with them, and you may not even know what you're laughing about, but you just see them. And as soon as you see them, you're like, and you start laughing, right? So it's a really great connector. And I wanted to also just share one more thing about how laughter can impact your life. It is a great way to stare in the face of adversity. If you use laughter in the face of adversity, let's say this hand I have here is the adversity I'm facing, and you just have a and you just laugh in that face of adversity, because this day and age, we are dealing with more adversity, it has been said, than any other time in world history. And I wanted to just share with you, just to finish off here, and what we reviewed here is the "oh no, I made a mistake" laughter, how it has impacted my heart health and my atrial fibrillation. And I also want to just challenge you with something in the next 21 days, is to laugh for at least 3 to 5 minutes per day for the next 21 days. Now, I'm not able to see all of your hands here, but if you put up your hand here, I could say that you are committing to 21 days of laughing for 3 to 5 minutes a day. And this will be extremely powerful. And you know the term laughter is the best medicine. Well, it certainly is the best. It was the best medicine for me, but every body is different. And I just wanted to say, if you are feeling like you're taking life too seriously, try taking laughter seriously. And back to you, Hayley. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for doing that. I love the laughter and learning not to take things quite so seriously, because I got to say, sometimes adulting really is overrated. We spend so much time as kids trying to grow up and be mature and be responsible and doing all the things. And I'm at the age now where I have kids who are starting to be young adults. And, adulting sometimes is highly overrated. And a little bit of laughter goes a long way. So I do have a curious question. How has the laughter yoga and your practices impacted the atrial fibrillation?
Oh, I believe I did share that, but maybe not. So it's gone from once every 3 to 4 weeks for my AFib episodes to once every year to a year and a half. And the biggest change, and that's significant for me, because every time you have atrial fibrillation, it puts a real strain on your heart. And so that's a huge impact for me. But like I said, every body is different. It's really impacted my life, but who knows if it'll impact others. I've written a book called Ease Your AFib, 7 Simple, Fun, and Solutions to Relieve Atrial Fibrillation. And I launched that last February, but it has a whole section on laughter and many other things that I have used as well. So, but it's had probably the biggest impact of anything in my life, for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
It goes to show how, sometimes it's not just a single approach.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of things. I mean, like there's a lot of different modalities that you can use and try. But what happened was, at 31 years old, I wasn't ready to take pharmaceuticals for the rest of my life. Maybe if I was 75, 80 or something like that. But I was very young to get atrial fibrillation as well. So it was, it's usually an older person's heart disease. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense as to why you would work on some of the more homeopathic and naturopathic approaches to it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Cool. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being
having
a
me.
guest today. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it. And I am going to try to work with technology here and hopefully not blow myself up. Thank you so much, Soren. I really appreciate having you here as a speaker. As a reminder, we do these WEN-Talk events once a month. I'll see if I can get the ring light off my glasses. And we do these events. They are 6 speakers. They are each speaker has 20 minutes. So if you are interested in being one of our speakers here in the Women's Entrepreneur Network, we broadcast to the Facebook group. We broadcast to our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and some other channels as well. So we have a reach of about 90,000 people, believe it or not, when we do these types of talks. I am really, really excited to be able to share these as we have hit our 7-year anniversary and 76,000 members in Women's Entrepreneur Network on Facebook. So it is extremely exciting to me to be able to do that. We are actually waiting for our next speaker to hop on. It's all good. One of the things I would love to hear from y'all, as the founder of the Women's Entrepreneur Network, we are rolling out membership programs, and we're rolling out a number of different things that we are doing here. We are doing this summit next week, next Thursday. At this time, we will be doing the WEN Summit, which is going to be focused on doing operations and finance in business. We have several attorneys speaking. We've got several CPAs speaking about managing your books and your operations and all of the things. We're going to be talking about HR. We're going to be talking about hiring. We're going to be talking about a lot of the things that you need to do to have a legitimate business, to legitimize your business. And even if you've been in business for a little while, one of the things that I see over and over and over again is that we may start business, we get to moving along, and I say we because I've done this, and then we forget, business insurance, we forget to do certain things, or we don't even realize certain places that we may be taking on additional liability that we didn't even realize that we were taking on in our business, and exposing our families to additional liability that we didn't know about. So that is the whole purpose of the WEN Summit, is to help us dot all of our I's, cross all of our T's, and have a safe, happy business type of experience for our businesses. And our tickets are only $1. It is ridiculously cheap. And part of the reason we charge $1 is just to get your attention and get you to actually show up if you do sign up. I'm going to post the link here so that y'all can sign up. We have 15 amazing speakers, and one of our speakers for the WEN Summit is actually going to be hopping on here at 2:20 p.m. Eastern, and her name is Kim Allen, and she is an absolute operations rock star. We've also got one of our WEN live speakers, Erin Pennings, is going to be talking about operations and marketing. Believe it or not, one of the things that I see a lot of business owners do, and this is not just small businesses, y'all, this is businesses up to 8 or 9 figures. So I guess by SBA standards, they're small businesses. We miss a lot of the marketing operations and automations that need to happen in our businesses. Some of the things that we need to do when we're onboarding people, when we're offboarding, the whole process through, and remarketing, because guess what? Your cheapest clients are going to be clients that you've already had, clients that have already spent money with you, and getting more of those clients. So getting somebody to come back and spend money with you again. It's really hard to get somebody to come back and spend money with you again if you don't have any kind of a process for getting them onto a newsletter, sending out a newsletter regularly, or any kind of a follow-up process after delivering whatever your service or product is to them. Really hard to turn a buyer into a multiple time buyer. That is why our inboxes are frequently, we have that daily email from Costco, or that daily email from, any major retailer, because they're trying to get us to come back and spend more money with them. And believe it or not, that is a significant portion of our marketing and our operations, because you've got to know what you're promoting. You've got to know when you're promoting. You've got to know how you're promoting it. If person does this, then they need to do this, and then they should do that, right? And you need to know what you're offering, and you need to know what your profit margins and all of the numbers really truly start to look like. So that is part of why I am so passionate about doing the WEN Summit. It's part of why we do these summits twice a year, is to bring in a ton of information, a ton of inspiration, and yes, networking, connecting, prizes, all of the things over the course of 3 days to really help people grow their businesses. And it is part of why I am so excited to be able to do this. So anyway, one of the things that I also want to bring out to you, if you have not applied to speak on a WEN-Talk event, is that we have lives in the group. We have summits that we are doing. We actually have all of our summits scheduled through 2024. The topics are going to be looking and feeling your best in September of 2023. 2022. April of 2023, April 20th through the 22nd is on funnel building. So if you're a funnel building expert, I want to talk to you. If you are into self-care, so yoga and all kinds of things, we're going to be talking about self-care, because if you don't take care of yourself, there won't be a business. It's amazing how that happens if we drive ourselves right off of the ledge. As Andy was saying earlier, you don't have to work 80 to 90 hours a week consistently in order to stay in business. That is September 14th through the 16th. We are looking for about 15 to 18 speakers. 2024, April 18th through the 20th, we're going to be talking about community building. We are looking for 16 to 18 speakers who are experts in online and offline community building, because community building is frequently where it's at. If you are trying to really scale a business, building a community around your business is a beautiful thing to do. It can also be a pain in the butt. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of building a community. Part of what I've done with Women's Entrepreneur Network is building a community. I have a huge focus in community building efforts. So that is part of why we're doing it. We're going to talk about how to do it. We're going to talk about the whys, and we're going to talk about a lot of the guts involved with doing it. If you go to our website, women'sentrepreneurnetwork.org, go to the website, and you can click on the link, and you can apply to be a speaker for any of these summits. September 19th through the 21st of 2024. Yes, we really are booking that far out. We are going to be doing another summit, and it's going to be focused on self-care and spirituality. So we are going to be bringing in all kinds of fun things there as well. I haven't determined the title of that one yet, but something tells me I have a little bit of time to come up with the title for that talk. We do the WEN-Talk the third Thursday of each month. We have 6 speakers each time. Unless I get somebody who doesn't show up, we have 5 or 6. Each person gets 20 minutes, and it is really, really cool. It is so much fun when we do these, because I never really quite plan all of the topics when I do them. But what is cool is it gives us about 72 speaking opportunities in the community a year. Yeah, 72 speaking opportunities. And it is so cool and so much fun. So I love these speaking opportunities. I love being able to give people amazing speaking opportunities in the group. So if you guys haven't applied yet for those speaking opportunities, make sure that you do so. Our next speaker is here. I want to take a brief second to introduce a longtime friend of mine, Bob Dudley. We have been circling around in the same spheres for, gosh, probably 6 or 7 years now. It is amazing. He is a best-selling author. He is an amazing veteran. He has taught all kinds of discipline and all kinds of amazing martial arts, and just a really kind of cool individual all the way around. So with that, I'm going to bring him to the stage, and I'm going to flip us around. And welcome, Bob. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Awesome. It is lovely to see you here. Welcome to the stage. And I want to introduce Bob Dudley to y'all. And with that, I'm going to give you the stage. So welcome.
All right. Thank you, Hayley. Appreciate it. And thanks for that introduction. You're too kind. And yes, we've known each other for years. And what an awesome person to know. And I'm really happy to be in that circle. Well, my name, like Hayley said, is Bob Dudley. I'm the senior partner of Life Changers 180. We're a success coaching company for Christian entrepreneurs where we help them birth that dream that God places in their heart to change the world. We're kind of like midwives for future millionaires. Now, today, what I want to do is I want to share with you something called the 9 intelligences. But first, to give you kind of a reference of why they're important to me and why they should be critically important to you, I want to tell you a little bit about where I am now and a little bit about where I started, and then how these intelligences actually fit into the transition in my life. So first, today, I own 3 real estate investment companies, the success coaching company I just talked about, and I have a foundation where we travel around the world to third world countries, helping pastors grow their churches and learn how to be more effective at what they do. And I have 5 college degrees, ranging from physics and astronautical engineering to biblical studies and a doctorate in theology. I've written and published 9 books. Like Hayley said, one of them is an international #1 bestseller. And I have black belts in 6 martial arts. I actually founded and owned a successful chain of martial arts studios throughout the 80s and 90s. And after that, when I got too old to fight in the ring anymore, I became a ballroom dance teacher, and I was a professional ballroom dancer and a ballroom dance teacher for probably 12 or 13 years. And also, finally, I guess, a retired Air Force officer and a multimillionaire. And but, it wasn't always sunshine and unicorns in my life. I'm the oldest of 7 children. I never knew my father. My mother and stepdads, we grew up in the projects of Los Angeles. I wound up going to 17 different schools until I finally, in high school, I dropped out of school. And going to 17 different schools, a lot of times you change schools in the middle of the year. And because of that, way back in the beginning of grade school someplace, they thought because I was behind, I was a slow student, and they put me in the slow classes. And once you're earmarked that way, you stay that way for your entire time in college and or your entire time in school. Now, as I'm growing up, my mom remarries. And again, in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, my first stepdad kind of put the nail in the coffin on all that by teaching me such gems as, you'll never amount to anything. And I can't believe how stupid you are. And shut up. Kids were meant to be seen and not heard. And go in the other room. I'm tired of looking at you. And when I want your opinion, I'll be there. And foul, abusive things like that really hammered home that I was going to grow up to be a nothing and a nobody, and I shouldn't aspire to anything. Well, obviously, that's not the path my life took. Obviously, my life changed dramatically, and that's really a story for another day. But an integral part of that is these 9 intelligences and how critically important they are for you as an entrepreneur, and that you need to know these and you need to embrace them. And if you get nothing else out of what I'm going to talk about in my 20 minutes, what I want you to know is, no matter what you thought of yourself in the past, no matter what people have said about you in the past, you already have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. You already have an innate ability to be a highly successful entrepreneur and business person. You already have the natural talent necessary to help countless people with whatever product or service has been placed in your heart to deliver to the world. All you have to do is dial into the right channel in your body and in your mind to access the talents and the abilities that you already are born with. And what I want to do today is I want to go over these 9 intelligences and show you how you can leverage those to be the successful entrepreneur that you know you're supposed to be. Back in 2011, Dr. Howard Gardner wrote an incredible book called Frames of the Mind, the Theory of Multiple Intelligences. And Albert Einstein once said, he says, everybody is a genius. He says, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's just stupid. Now, if you're having struggles in your entrepreneurial journey and you're feeling lost and like you don't know what to do or where to go, maybe it's just that you've been a fish trying to climb a tree. It's time to get you back in the water, swimming where you belong, and leverage those natural talents that you have so that you can be the entrepreneur that you were meant to be. Now, when Dr. Garner wrote his book, he had discovered 7 different intelligences. You know, if you ever take one of those IQ tests, they only cover 2 of the intelligence that are out there. They cover the logical and the linguistic, and they ignore all the rest of them. Well, he discovered 5 more. And then since he wrote the book in the last 11 years, he's came up with 2 more beyond that. So there's really 9 intelligences. And what I'd like to do is describe what they are, give you some insights to what characteristics they have, and see which ones resonate with you. What I'd like you to do is, maybe if you've got a piece of paper with you, jot down the 1, 2, or 3 that resonate with you, that might be your geniuses, and then maybe the 1 or 2 that don't resonate with you. And then at the end, we'll talk a little bit about what to do with that information. But first, let me go through the 9 real quick, and then I'm going to go through each one at a time. There's logical, there's linguistic, there's musical, there's spatial, there's bodily kinesthetic, there's interpersonal and intrapersonal, there's naturalist, and there's existential. Now, the logical one, like I said, logical and linguistics is what people are used to. The IQ tests that are out there work on your ability to think logically and your ability to understand the language that you speak. For us, it would be English. Typically, the occupations that go with this, with logical, are scientists and mathematicians, maybe some engineers, that type of person. They have usually the ability to discern logical and numerical patterns. Now, see if some of this resonates with you. Are you known for being neat and orderly? Do you find that step-by-step directions are a big help in what you want to do? Does problem solving come easily to you? Do you get easily frustrated with disorganized people? Can you complete calculations quickly in your head? Are logic puzzles fun for you? Is structure a good thing for you? Do you enjoy troubleshooting something that isn't working properly? Do things have to make sense to you, or you're just dissatisfied? If any of that resonated with you, maybe your genius is in the logical range. Number 2 is linguistics. This is usually writers or journalists, maybe reporters. They have a strong usage of the English language or whatever language they're speaking. They understand the rhythms and the meanings of words. So let's see if some of this resonates with you. Do foreign languages interest you? Do you enjoy reading books, magazines, and websites? Do you keep a journal? Are word puzzles and crossword puzzles enjoyable? Does taking notes help you remember and understand? Do you faithfully contact friends through letters and emails rather than calling them on the phone? Is it easy for you to explain your ideas to others? Do you write just for pleasure? Do you find puns and anagrams and things like that fun to do? Do you enjoy public speaking and participating in debates? Now, if that resonates with you, maybe linguistics is your genius. So write that down. Number 3 is musical. This would be composers, musicians, maybe singers. They have the ability to produce and understand like rhythms and pitch and the timbre of music. So let me ask you this. See if any of this resonates. Do you easily pick up on patterns? Do you focus in on noise and sounds? Do you find moving to a beat is easy for you? Do you enjoy making music? Do you respond to the cadence of poetry? Do you remember things by putting them in a rhyme? Do you find concentration difficult for you if there's any kind of background noise or distractions like that? Is listening to sounds in nature very relaxing to you? Are musicals more engaging to you than dramatic plays? Is remembering song lyrics easy for you to do? If you find some of this resonates, go ahead and write down musical as possible, one of your geniuses. Number 4 is spatial. Navigators are spatial artists, especially sculptors are spatial. They have the ability to perceive and manipulate the visual spatial world. See if any of this might resonate with you. Do you visualize ideas in your mind? Are rearranging a room and redecorating fun for you? Do you enjoy creating your own works of art? Do you remember better using graphics organizers to help you remember things? Do Do you enjoy all kinds of entertainment media? Do charts, graphs, and tables help you interpret data? Can a music video make you more interested in a song than just listening to it? Can you recall things as mental pictures? Are you good at reading maps and blueprints? And finally, do you find three-dimensional puzzles fun to do? Again, if any of this resonates with you, then maybe your genius is in the spatial region. The next one is body kinesthetics. This would be principally athletes and dancers. You have the ability to control your body movements and to handle objects as though they're part of your body. See if some of this resonates with your spirit. Do you learn by doing? Do you enjoy making things with your hands? Are sports a part of your life? Do you use gestures and nonverbal cues when you communicate? Do you find demonstrating is better than explaining? Do you love to dance? Do you like working with tools? Do you find inactivity makes you more tired than actually being active and very busy? Are hands-on activities fun for you? Do you live an active lifestyle? If any of this resonates with you, go ahead and write down bodily kinesthetic. That could be your genius. Number 6 is interpersonal. And the next two are interpersonal and intrapersonal. And you're going to see that they interact a little bit and there's a little overlap. Intrapersonal is usually managers, counselors, intuitives, empaths. They have an understanding of the moods and the motivations of other people. And it's almost eerily accurate, the way that they can do that. And some of the questions I would ask myself for that and see if these resonate with you is, do you learn best interacting with other people? Do you enjoy informal chats and serious discussions? Do you feel the more, the merrier? Do you often serve as a leader among peers and colleagues? Do you value relationships more than ideas or accomplishments? Are study groups very productive for you? Are you a team player? Are friends important to you? Do you belong to more than 3 clubs or organizations? Do you dislike working alone? If that resonates, then go ahead and write down interpersonal. In other words, your ability to communicate with other people. The next one is intrapersonal. This is people that have an accurate self-knowledge, and they can use that self-knowledge to further their own goals. They have the ability to access their own feelings and use them to guide their behaviors. See if this resonates. Does your attitude affect how you learn? Do you like to be involved in causes that help other people? Are you keenly aware of your moral beliefs? Do you learn best when you have an emotional attachment to the subject? Is fairness important to you? Do social justice issues interest you? Do you feel working alone can be just as productive as working in a group? Do you need to know why you should do something before you agree to do it? When you believe in something, do you give more effort towards that? Are you willing to protest or sign a petition to right a wrong that's out there? Again, if that resonates, write intrapersonal as one of your geniuses. Number 8 is the naturalist. This would be a biologist or a botanist or a farmer or a rancher, maybe an oceanographer. They have the ability to see and understand and really connect with nature. See if these resonate. Do you enjoy categorizing things by common traits? Are ecological issues important to you? Does classification help you make sense of new data? Do you enjoy working in a garden? Do you believe persevering, or do you agree preserving our national parks is very, very important? Does putting things in hierarchies make sense to you? Are animals important in your life? Does your home have a recycling system in place? Do you enjoy studying biology, botany, and or zoology? Do you pick up on subtle differences in meanings? If all of this resonates with you, or most of this resonates with you, put down naturalist. That's probably a genius that you have. Finally, number 9 is existential. You would find pastors, priests, evangelists, missionaries. This type of person is good at existentialism, and they have the ability to see or place themselves in the universe and in the spirit world. And see if these questions might resonate a little bit with you. Is it important to see your role in the big picture of things? Do you enjoy discussing questions about life? Is religion important to you? Do you enjoy viewing artwork? Are relaxation and meditation exercises rewarding to you? Do you like travel to inspiring places? Do you enjoy reading philosophers? Is learning new things easier when you see their real world application? Do you wonder if there are other forms of intelligent life in the universe? Is it important to you to feel connected to people, ideas, and beliefs? Those are the 9 intelligences. See if you have 1, 2, or 3 of them that resonate with you, and maybe a couple that don't. And for instance, for myself, logical, linguistic, musical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, and intrapersonal and existential are all some of my geniuses. Interpersonal and naturalist, not quite so much. So what do we do with this knowledge? Well, first off, I know I went through it really fast, but there's I have a PDF of a worksheet that's kind of like a survey you can take. It's like a self-graded worksheet that you can print out. It's maybe 4 or 5 pages, and you answer these questions and you mark off the things that resonate with you. And then it shows you how to score it and graph it at the end to determine, according to the survey, what your geniuses might be. And it might be handy for you to have. So I'll make sure Hayley knows how to get it, or I'll get it to her so that she can get it to anybody that wants it. And it really is eye-opening to think about these things and meditate on them for a bit. But hopefully you did find a few that will resonate with you. But what do we do with that? Well, the first thing I would say is look at your strengths and figure out how to leverage them. Look at your strengths, figure out how to leverage them, how to make them to your advantage, because that's where, as the fish, you should be swimming, in those strengths, right? Also, look at the weaknesses and decide if you need to build these up a little bit or if they're irrelevant to your journey, right? Because sometimes there are things that you might need to build up. Sometimes there are things that have no impact on what you're trying to give to the world. So what I would suggest is, once you figure out your intelligences or your geniuses that you hold, look at your goals for your business, and then you might have to tweak or rewrite your plan a little bit in order to leverage what you're really good at, what you're gifted at, the abilities that you have that are God-given abilities that you're born with. Now, are there things that you're going to have to learn as you go along life's path? Absolutely. Are there things that you're going to have to overcome? Definitely. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I like to teach is I call the success curve. And when you first start to become an entrepreneur, maybe you went to a multi-level marketing class or a real estate class or a class on stocks or how to start this business or that business. So every day you're waking up totally super excited about what life has to bring. And you're getting more and more excited every day. And I call this uneducated optimism. Uneducated because you don't know yet what you don't know. And you're still enthusiastic every day. But eventually you start learning all the things that you don't know. And that curve starts to wane a little bit, and it starts to go over the top. And then eventually you're going down into what I call educated pessimism. It's really entrepreneurial depression. It hits, and you start thinking, am I going to quit? And 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs quit in this part of the curve. And you know what? If you know what your geniuses are, if you know what you can leverage, you can shorten this curve and maybe even eliminate it. And eventually you start learning what you need to know. You start digging in what you get. You hang out with people like Hayley that can show you how to become a great entrepreneur. And then the curve starts moving up again. And it moves into what I call now educated optimism. Now every day you're waking up excited like you were way back at the beginning, but now you have a reason. You've got clients whose lives are better because of what you have to give them. You start making money to support your business, then support you, and then support your family. And you have the dream that you thought you should have had before. But I tell you what, knowing what your geniuses are, what your intelligences are vital to get through this and to become the successful entrepreneur that you were meant to be. So let me say this. Let me close with this. What I want to say is never give up. You really were made to do this. You just have to find what pond you're supposed to swim in and get down off that tree.
Love it. And I will remember to not measure somebody on their ability to climb a tree.
Good, because I don't think I could anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Einstein quote? If you measure a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its life thinking
It's stupid.
Stupid. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming and doing this with us today and sharing your great insights. I've been taking a few notes.
Thank you.
It's delightful. And I think that your talk feeds in beautifully to our next speaker, Kim Allen. So I'm going to switch people around and do the old tech switcheroonies. Thank you, Bob, so much. And welcome, Kim. So happy to have you here.
Hello. I am so excited to be here. This has been so awesome. I have so many great notes from today.
Awesome. Isn't
really
it funny
cool.
how that works? And like you almost get like a stream of consciousness that goes, next month it's going to be interesting to see. And then June, everybody is talking about finance and accounting, like back to back to back to back, like operations, finance, accounting. So it's funny how I don't even try to schedule like to make things line up, and then they magically do. And if they're not like completely lined up, somebody will drop out of the lineup and somebody will fill in and it will magically happen.
Well, as I was standing in the shower this morning, I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about today? Mistakes. And I was like,
perfect.
The laughter yoga, I was like, oh my gosh, that was just like so meant to be. Hey, everyone. I am so excited to be here. I'm Kim Allen, and I'm a habit transformation coach. And what even is that? And it's like, you know, those little thoughts in your head that tell you, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, that's meant for somebody else. You know, that negative voice. Well, those are habits of thinking that you've learned throughout the years from your experiences, from things that people have told you. And it's kind of interesting because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today, but over the last couple of weeks, I've been having conversations with people about mistakes and how they carry that burden around with them and that shame, and it keeps them in this place of stuck, right? Of not feeling like they can share all of themselves. And so like we heard earlier with the laughter yoga, I was just like blown away that was being talked about, because that's true. And I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but act more like a child, like really connect with your child. Because when you watch children before they get all of this negative chatter, so the younger child, they'll stand in the middle of a store and sing or dance, and they'll laugh at themselves until they learn not to. And so the habits of thinking of not being good enough and that fear come from all of those life lessons. And like we just heard also, you know, you don't know what you don't know. We heard that. I wrote that as a note. And then what pond are you supposed to swim in? And all of these thoughts, I was remembering, I actually wrote this down, is, you know, those thoughts, or not thoughts, but things that your parents might have told you that you might want to think harder before you do this next time. Or, you know, you should have thought about that more. You won't amount to anything. You know, those are the things that we've heard along the way. Some of us have, and then they instill this belief that we're not good enough. And so I want to talk to you today about your life being a puzzle. And your life is composed of like many, many, many different pieces. And every experience in your life, good, bad, however you label it, is a part of your journey and how you've come along. And in mistakes or experiences that we've labeled as bad or shameful or wrong, they could have been, you made a mistake in life. You know what? Maybe you have been to jail. Maybe you have stolen something and you didn't get caught, but you did it and it weighs heavy. Maybe you did something that, you know, you're just embarrassed for other people to know. Well, you know what? It's something that happened. It's maybe a decision you made, but it doesn't define who you are today unless you choose to allow it to. If you choose to allow yourself to feel less than because I made a mistake 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 30 days ago, it doesn't matter. That's the past, but what can you learn from it? It's a piece of your puzzle. And every time you go through life and you have an experience, like I said, whether it's good or bad, however you label it, it's a new piece of your puzzle. And you're going to continue to add to that piece of your puzzle for your entire breathing life. And the last piece gets placed in when you leave this earth. So you have your whole life ahead of you to create whatever you want in the next day, in the next week, in the next month, in the next year. But when you hold on so tightly to what occurred in the past, it keeps you blocked. So I want to tell you, you are not your past mistakes. You are not your past experiences. You are an infinite, valuable human being. And your thoughts of those experiences are what keeps you stuck. So I want to just give you a little explanation of habits and how they work and how they're like ingrained in your brain. They are subconscious. And this visual makes it really clear for me, and maybe it will for you too. But a habit is automatic. So you know how when you're driving home and you've driven the same path and you get home and you ask, how did I get here? I don't even remember how I drove here. Well, you've done it so many times that your subconscious knows how to get you there. Now, imagine yourself at a hiking trail and you look up and there's two paths to take. There's one that's been worn. Somebody has walked to that path over and over and over again. Many people have. And you see it. It's clear. It's dirt. There's no more overgrown weeds. And then you look over here to the left and you see a trail. You can see it, but it has a bunch of overgrown weeds. So people have been taking this one trail, which is the path of least resistance. And that's kind of how a habit works, is that you've done it so many times, you've worn the path in your brain that it is the easiest place, the least resistant place for your brain to go. So the habit, let's just talk about, we all make goals for ourselves. And let's just talk about your health and weight, because everybody has either struggled with it or knows someone who has. And you have these thoughts in your mind that I'm going to get healthy. Okay. I'm going to get healthy, which is awesome. But the way I'm going to do it is I have this big goal and I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm going to work out for 45 minutes to an hour and I'm going to eat like a rabbit. I'm eating nothing bad. Well, here's the thing about a habit is that you've done the same thing over and over and over. It takes many micro steps for you to shift that habit. So what happens is we fall off because it's not sustainable. Okay. Going from nothing to all to nothing, it's not sustainable, right? So then what happens? We're done eating rabbit food for 2 weeks. Not to say I love salads, so, but I don't like to eat salads every single day, right? I like that cookie. That's just the way that it is. Okay. But we have this all or nothing mentality and then we fall off and then we tell ourselves how bad we are. I knew it. I wasn't going to do it. And so we go on our merry way until we get to that place of being fed up, right? It's the same thing with all of the habits that you have in your life, is that you cannot just wake up today and say, okay, I'm just going to think another way and everything's going to go as planned. If you have those habits of thinking that are stinking thinking, that's what my coach told me. And it stuck with me. If you have that stinking thinking that you're not enough, that you're not capable, that you are your mistakes, then that's the behavior that will continue to play out in your life. But when you want to shift that, you put together a plan. You put together small action steps that you repeatedly do day in and day out. Small ones until they become a habit. And now you layer on small ones. It becomes a habit, right? And along that way, you celebrate yourself like multiple times a day. You know what? Let's just go back to the weight loss. Let's say it's like you had a choice to make today. I got a donut in front of me and I have, let's see, I have a salad in front of me. And you made the choice because you wanted to. Celebrate that. Like, celebrate it. And then the next time, if you make the decision, I want the donut instead of the salad, then freaking enjoy it. Don't tell yourself the whole time that I'm doing something bad. Because what you think, you create. I've had plenty of times in life where I've gotten caught up in stinking thinking and scarcity thinking, and I'm not good enough. And what is a result of that is I continually to have that negative thinking. I continually think I'm not capable, right? But when you become aware of it and you're working on your habits, you can shift it. You make a choice to shift it, but it doesn't happen overnight, right? So those past mistakes give you an opportunity to grow and learn. And if I'm an example of that, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you had I not had the experiences in my life that put me on a path to wanting to help other people through this negative mindset. Because you know what? If you think about it, if you think about all the people in the world and you think about just the people that you know and the mistakes that they've made or the experiences that they have, there's a lot of successful people in this world who have made a ton of mistakes because they're human, right? But they didn't hold that against themselves. They kept moving, right? When you hold yourself hostage to the past, it robs you of your present, this moment right now, and it robs you of what you can create in the future. So if you're holding on to that past, learning to put in processes and learning to accept that past is part of what brought you here right now. And accepting that past, no matter what it is part of that acceptance and moving yourself forward. So when you're sitting here in this blame game and you're talking all this negative talk, become aware of that and make a choice to shift that. Because here's the thing about your life now and your life in the future is that you are infinitely valuable. You are infinitely worthy without doing another thing. Right now, you came into this world valuable and worthy. And whatever has happened along the way, you may have this message that there's something about you that's not. And this is your wake-up call that you are worthy and you are enough. And I also understand that that takes time to work through when you're ready, right? So there's 3 things I want to leave you with. And number 1 is this. You are the only one who can change the outcome of your future. You are the only one who can take responsibility for you, your healing, the goals you want in your life, the people you want to surround yourself with, and the results that you're creating in your life. If you're not where you want to be, then that is your responsibility to take. And it's no one else's. It's no circumstance in life. If you want something different, you take 100% responsibility for taking the action on what will take you to where you want to be. So that's number 1. Okay. Believe that you are capable. That is number 2. Okay. I know sometimes it's hard to believe in yourself. And I've talked about this before, that a lot of times other people believe in you before you believe in yourself. So if you don't have those people in your life who are supporting you and lifting you and cheering you on. And I'm not talking about enabling people who are just doubling down on what you're telling yourself. I am talking about the people who are honest with you, who are not afraid to tell you, to share with you that you are in this place of victim mentality, or my circumstances are the reason why I can't get these things in life. Surround yourself with people who will give you that positive vibe and energy to pick yourself up and keep on moving, because you know what? You are totally capable of creating whatever you want in your life. And someone's waiting for you to create and offer your gifts, by the way. There are people waiting for that. And in entrepreneur world, it can get hard. And like we just heard, what did he say? You get to educated optimism from being uneducated. And we get to that part in our journey where it gets so hard that we want to quit. You are capable of creating whatever you want in your life, right? And then move from your head and into your heart. And what does that mean? This thing up here, your brain wants to keep you safe. That's its sole responsibility, is to warn you that something doesn't feel safe, that it's uncomfortable. Well, entrepreneurship is uncomfortable. Making change is uncomfortable. And if we stay in our head and we allow it to tell us, no, you can't, that's scary, danger, danger, then you won't. So connect back into your heart. What do you really want to do? And what impact do you want to make in this world? Who do you want to serve? When you put your focus on why you began this journey in the first place, when you focus on who you're looking to serve, it gets you back in touch with your inner core and why you started this, instead of your head telling you, that's too hard, I'm not capable, I'm a failure, and you go down that rabbit hole of negative thoughts, right? So allow your intuition to lead you. Believe in you. Like I said earlier, sometimes it's hard to believe in yourself when you're not seeing the results. Believe it. If you're taking the action, and if you're not taking the action, you know what? You know. I have days I have woke up in the morning and been like, Kim, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing what you know you need to do? Right? Take that action. Stop making excuses, because you were meant to do something great in this world, right? So let your intuition lead you. Engage in your life. Don't let the moments pass you by like you're just skating through life. Engage, be present, listen to people, offer support, serve. Serving is one thing that will fill your heart no matter what. Clear that clutter in your brain and believe that you can do whatever it is that you put your heart and your soul and your mind to. Get rid of that stinking thinking. Let it go, because you're capable of creating whatever you want in this amazing life. So if I leave you with anything, it is this. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not defined by anything that happened previous, right? And even if you continue to make mistakes, which you will, that's just who we are, human nature, own it, own the mistake, learn from it, and then keep moving. Keep moving. Because you were made to do great things and you were made to do hard things. So before I leave, let me just let you know how you can get in touch with me. You can find me here on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I also offer a complimentary coaching call, and I'll put the link in the comments here where you can book a call with me. And I also have a habits of thinking assessment that we can kind of identify the habits that might be keeping you stuck. So I'll put all that information in the comments. And I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you, Hayley, and congratulations on 7 amazing years with Women's Entrepreneur Network.
Helps if I unmute myself. Thank you so much. Thank you for stepping in and talking about this today. And thank you to all of our speakers today. I learned so much. I'm going to have to try quite a few of Soren's techniques and try those out and really, really embody that a bit more, because believe me, I've had my own fair share of screw ups. And
I love the laughter. I love it. I can't wait to see Mike's face as I just start to laugh when I do something. I just can't.
I made a mistake. Thank
I know.
you, Soren,
It's great.
so much. Is it okay if I pop you up on the screen, Soren? Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining. Thank you for the laughter.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was really great to
it.
hear your talk, Kim, and
Thank you.
it was really I took a lot of notes here and everything. So I was actually going to connect with you. I connect with you on LinkedIn, or followed you, and I'm going to message you as well. But I'd love to do a combination kind of speech with you, with your part about the shame and of the mistake and the laughter.
Let's do it.
I was like,
yay!
Great.
Let's do it. I love it.
Them bye, and we'll catch up here in a second. Connect y'all, because I can't speak. And thank y'all ever so much for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great